In a world that feels like it's moving faster every day, what if I told you the secret to immortality was hidden in the ink of a 400-year-old poem? Today, we're going to dive into Shakespeare's sonnets to uncover his incredibly bold claim that art can actually win a war against time itself.
So you might think these poems are just about love and romance, right? But the real conflict, the central battle, isn't between two lovers. Nope. It's a fight against one single, relentless enemy, time.
So, let's meet this villain. Now, when Shakespeare talks about time, he's not picturing some gentle flowing river. Oh no. For him, time is a monstrous, almost mythological beast, a cruel and very active destroyer.
Just listen to how he opens Sonnet 60. He gives us this breathtaking image. Our lives, our minutes, are like waves constantly crashing on the shore. Each moment pushes the one before it out of the way, only to be replaced itself. He calls it a sequent toil, this exhausting, unstoppable march straight to the end. And you have to understand this one word he uses, confound. It's so key. Time is the thing that gives us life, right? But then, in this horribly cruel twist, it turns around and utterly destroys its own creation. It's like a betrayal that's written into the very fabric of our existence.
But Shakespeare doesn't just tell us time is a monster. He shows us the wreckage. He basically points to the ruins of civilization as Exhibit A in his case against our mortal enemy.
Think about the grandest things humans can build. These proud towers, monuments made of eternal brass. Well, he says they're all just reduced to rubble under what he calls the wrackful siege of battering days. Time isn't just passing. It's actively laying siege to everything we create.
And this line, wow, this one would have hit so hard for his original audience. You see, they were surrounded by the very real, very fresh ruins of monasteries that had been dissolved all over England. So this image connects the decay of buildings to the silencing of nature, of spirit, and of art, all in one go. But here's the thing, this destruction isn't just something happening out there to old castles. It's also happening in here, inside our own bodies. And in Sonnet 73, Shakespeare turns the camera away from the crumbling world and points it directly at himself. He gives us this absolutely heartbreaking series of 3 images of his own decay. First, he's like the bare branches of late autumn. Then, he's the fading light of twilight, just about to be wiped out by death's second self, Black Night. And finally, and maybe this is the most tragic, he's a dying fire, being choked and consumed by the very ashes of its own youthful energy.
And this brings us to the heart of the whole problem. This is the big question. If time can topple stone towers and wear down the sea itself, what possible chance does a flower have? What hope is there for something as incredibly fragile as beauty?
I mean, just look at this matchup. The odds are completely stacked. On one side, you have time's overwhelming force. On the other side, beauty's defense is the most delicate things in nature. The battle seems utterly, completely hopeless.
So, right at this peak of despair, after this fearful meditation on just how powerful time is, Shakespeare reveals his secret weapon. And it's not what you'd expect. It's not a sword or a shield or some kind of magical fortress.
That's it. The answer is quiet, fragile, and almost unbelievable. But how? How can mere ink on paper possibly stand a chance against the destroyer of worlds? And you know what? He basically admits it sounds crazy. He calls it a miracle. That little word, unless, is everything. It's this tiny, fragile hope, a whisper against a hurricane. But the claim itself is just so audacious that in the humble, perishable act of writing something down, beauty can find a home and shine forever.
Okay, so how is this miracle supposed to actually work? Well, Shakespeare's solution is like a kind of spiritual surgery. It's about separating the part of us that dies from the part that can live on.
In Sonnet 74, he basically argues that death's fellow rest can only grab the body, which he dismisses as worthless dregs. But the spirit, the better part of me, that finds sanctuary right here, in these lines of poetry, as a gift to the one he loves. He ends that poem with this incredible little riddle, practically pointing at the words on the page. He's saying, my body may be gone, but this poem, this, is in your hands now. The worth of the book is the spirit it contains, and that spirit, he claims, is now with you. So, in the end, Shakespeare's war against time, well, it's a war we're all fighting. He chose his weapon, words. He wagered that art could grant a kind of immortality, a way to whisper across the centuries. And the question he leaves for us isn't just what will you leave behind, but what are you creating that is truly worthy of outlasting you?